Welcome to Broken to Better. My name is Josh. This is my journey from 450 plus pounds to healthy. And this is kind of a check in. I messed up big time. I made a huge mistake. Let me explain. So, I've hit a weight loss plateau. And just for some context for you guys that are just showing up, at the end of January 2025, I weighed conservatively 450 pounds. At the end of September 2025, I weighed 309 pounds, which means I've shaved 141 pounds off my weight. Go me, yay. I'm very, very proud of that, but that is not a pat on the back. I just want you to know what I've managed to achieve. I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV, but I am a dude on YouTube that is actually doing this, and it's working. So, weight plateaus. They're not what you think. And I just want to say this: if you're in a weight loss journey right now and you've hit a plateau and you think you're failing, you think the world is over, you failed your diet, and you're down on yourself, don't be. You are absolutely winning, and here's why. There's actually a lot of science as to why plateaus happen, and the gist of it is a body's more importantly, it's the autonomic nervous system attempt to preserve itself, because historically, we as modern people tend to forget two things. A, we're animals, but B, our genetic code has been refined over hundreds of thousands of years of evolution, events, all that good happy stuff. And in the past, us being hunter-gatherers, not really, there were no grocery stores to go to, no fast food joints. When times were harsh and calorie intake was low, what the body would do is it developed this mechanism to do two things: suppress as much as possible energy being burned because there's less energy coming in, but also do things to try to encourage the rest of the body or the person to consume more calories. So a few of the things that it does is it will try to suppress metabolism as best it can. It will spike cortisol, which cortisol really encourages body fat to be, held onto instead of burned. The body would rather consume muscle before fat. Go figure. So essentially what's going on is your body thinks, oh my God, something bad's going to happen. I'm going to die. And it's just trying to do its best to kind of preserve that. Getting out of a plateau actually is easier than most people think, or at least my experience has been it's easier. First off, do not, at least what I have observed, do not increase your workout load. This was a mistake that I made in September. I'll get into that. Do increase your calorie intake. Now, it's not that simple and straightforward, but at the basic level, you are increasing your calorie intake. You still want a deficit, but you want to narrow that deficit. Just for another point of reference, I keep on talking about I messed up, I made a mistake, it's my fault this is happening. Totally true. There's a few things that happened in September that I didn't pay attention to. One of the first things was I was getting hungry at really weird times. Not the norm. This is a clue. That goes back to the signaling of ghrelin production. Ghrelin is the chemical that your body produces or your brain produces to say, hey, I'm hungry. Leptin is the chemical hormone that gets produced to say, hey, I'm full. So it suppresses leptin, increases ghrelin, suppresses metabolism, spikes cortisol, all that good happy stuff. That was happening in September, and I know that because I was getting hungry at really weird times. Another thing is I had less energy, slightly. I would get tired a little earlier than normal. Not worn down, not like, ooh, but I would just feel myself like, man, I could really go for this, like laying down in the bed right now. Another thing that I should have been paying better attention to, I had a little slip up at the beginning of this September, and I actually gained a couple of pounds because I was stress eating. Big, long story. I'm not getting into it. I talked about it already. But My weight loss, while it started to come down, it wasn't as consistent as I wanted to see it. But that should have been a clue because what was happening again, my body was just trying to make all these adjustments. Another thing, and to tie in with that weight, here's the chart that shows it. Now, this is a screenshot from the app that is connected to my body fat scale. I only lost a little over 12 pounds last month. Now, 12 pounds is a good number to lose, but the calculations that Skynet and I had put together was I should have lost anywhere between 15 to 18. So I underperformed. And initially, I thought I underperformed because, well, I had that weight gain at the beginning of September. So I kind of blew the trend because it took a little while. It took a couple of days to bring that weight back down. That's totally my own fault. And while that could have been a component to it, it wasn't the only thing. Another mistake that I made, and I shouldn't say mistake because I had planned to do this. What I didn't plan on was I didn't modify my diet enough to support it. I completely reworked my workout routine in the gym. Up until now, I've only used free weights sparingly because I didn't want to hurt myself. I wanted to build the major muscle groups on machine training because the weight's stable. You are only engaging very specific muscle groups. It's targeted. And while that's a good plan, what I don't want to say I didn't think about or I forgot. I just, in my exuberance to start doing a lot more free weight training, I didn't think things clearly. I messed up. And I started doing a lot more free weight training. And when you do that, you're engaging more muscles to help stabilize the weight because the weight's not stabilized anymore. That was a big mistake because I didn't adjust my caloric intake to support the intensity increase of my workouts. It's that simple. So here's how we get through this because there is light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not going to be stuck in this plateau at least forever, I hope. But all I really need to do is increase my caloric intake. But here's the thing. The one thing that I really need to reintroduce back into my diet, and I already have, just not through my traditional ways, I need to get more carbs. I need to get more sustainable energy in my system. Excuse me. I've already somewhat increased my fats and my protein intake because I'm building more muscle. I don't know if this is going to come off on camera, but my forearms and my biceps are pretty much all muscle now. I'm still working on my triceps, don't laugh. Anyway, there's not a lot of fat there. I've got loose skin, but not a lot of fat there. I'm building a lot of muscle here. I need to support that, and I need to support that with protein. I need to support that with good healthy fats, and I need to support that with carbohydrates. And even though carbohydrates can pull in more water, my muscles actually kind of need that water, so it's going to consume it, so it's okay. So here's what I've done. I started this, and again, today's October 8th, so I started this on October 6th. I started protein powder, a whey protein. It's not the protein that I wanted, but I ended up with it because I have a friend who bought it, didn't like it, and was like, here, you're talking about taking protein, so I don't want it to go to waste. So I was like, well, this is a good way to start. So I got this big jar of protein, whey protein, and I'm going to start researching some other proteins. I probably also need to mix in some creatine, but I'll get to that. The good thing about the protein powder is it has not a whole lot of carbs, but a healthy amount of carbs to help support the things that I'm doing. The other thing that I'm seriously considering is, first of all, my fluid intake is water, black coffee, and the occasional unsweetened iced tea, and the very occasional sports drink. There's a zero sugar electrolyte drink that I really like. I can only find it in a few places. I think I need to start drinking that more consistently because I am working out a lot harder now. My intensity's up. I'm sweating a lot more. And, my hikes are getting more intense as well. Even though I'm shortening the distances that I'm walking, I'm carrying more and more weight. I'm also incorporating jogging. So I need to replace those electrolytes. That's first thing because that imbalance can cause all kinds of problems. But I also need to increase that calorie without trying to increase my calorie burn too much. So I got to find that happy medium. And then I'll be back to weight loss. Now, while all this is theory, I know this will work because I've had to do this in the past. In the past, the plateaus only lasted for a couple of days because I had already started tweaking my diet. I'd kind of like pre-thought, but I kind of got into this rhythm and this flow. That and September and even this month at work has been insanely stressful. Um, and not that that's an excuse, but it is the reality. So some things just slipped my mind when it came to my personal health, and this is a hard balance. Trying to balance, what I do for a living, which I'm not going to get into all the details, but I'm a very high level leader in a multi-million dollar a year company. It's still technically a small business, even though it's making millions of dollars a year, or I should say, generating millions of dollars a year. Making and generating are two very different things. Yay, taxes. But I digress. Um, and the reality is that even though I eat, no pun intended, a lot of stress from work, I'm usually really good about compartmentalizing work and private. Last month, that line kind of got blurred just because of everything that was going on. But uh, I'm over it. I'm moving on. I'm going to get past this. But yeah, so I've hit a weight loss plateau. It is 100% my fault. But I've got an action plan in place so that I can correct this. On that note, I need to get out of here. I have to get back to work. Real quick, the one thing that I do want to say, first of all, if you stuck around this long in the video, thank you very much. I want to humbly ask for you to subscribe, not because I'm trying to monetize or be YouTube famous or any BS like that. Strictly, the more people subscribe, the more people come back and watch these videos, the more apt these videos are likely to be recommended to people that are actually trying to either thinking about getting on a journey, weight loss, health, wellness, whatever, or are on it. I don't think that I have all the answers for everybody because I don't, but I want to share what's working for me because it might be able to help somebody else. And that's really what all this is about. I just want to help people. This is one of the best ways I know how. On that note, I do want to thank you. I want to thank you for your time, and we'll see you in the next one.